Hello, everybody, and welcome to this ESA BIC Nordic Academy webinar. I'm Sune Nordentoft, and I'm the manager of ESA BIC Denmark. Today, we are fortunate to have Cristina Ramos with us. She is a project assistant for the CASSINI Matchmaking initiative. And you will learn much more about the CASSINI Matchmaking activity, but just to introduce the activity in very general terms, it's really about matching your startup, your space startup, with investors and or corporates, which may be your future customers or collaborators. So it's all about attracting capital and also forming industrial partnerships through the CASSINI Matchmaking initiative. So Cristina, welcome. We are glad that you could join us and enrich our understanding of the CASSINI Matchmaking initiative. I should just inform everybody that this session is recorded. So if you're not on board with that, you should leave the session, but otherwise, please stay on board. And Cristina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Sue, for the introduction. So let me just start to share my screen. Okay, I hope you can see it now. Is it working? Yes? Okay, great. Okay, nice to meet you, everyone. I'm very pleased to share this afternoon with all of you and introduce you to the CASSINI Matchmaking. So I'm Cristina Ramos, aerospace engineer working at ESA, which is the leading partner of the consortium of the CASSINI Matchmaking. So the CASSINI Matchmaking initiative is led by the European Commission and supported by the European Space Programme and also ESA. What we aim is to connect startups with, as mentioned, with corporates and investors and create meaningful partnerships between all of them. So by this way, by these connections, we try to improve the EU economy and the space market, and also bring added value to the space ecosystem. So the opportunities are not just like industrial partnership, but also you have opportunities to find fundraising opportunities, and then like also meet investors and VCs in these matchmaking events that we plan along the year. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, great. Then, as I mentioned, there is these connections that we make along the year between different events. We have planned this year different events that you will see in the next slides, but basically it's like we plan different live events and also online matchmaking events that give you the opportunity, if you cannot attend on site, also you can also connect with interested counterparts in online events. So through these connections, what we plan is to bring to the companies an added value and raise their rate of growth, which means like there will be possibilities to increase the revenue, secure new customers, and also access to new markets. So it's an added value that it will bring you different opportunities of networking, not just with new customers, but as I mentioned, also fundraising opportunities. Okay, so who is eligible to apply? So basically the eligibility criteria that we have is that every company needs to meet the EU definition of SMEs, which means like less than 250 employees in the company and less than 50 million euro turnover. Also, all of the registered companies to be accepted in the program, they need to be registered in a member state or be part of the European Economic Area. Also, it needs to be demonstrated somehow a connection with space. So your solution needs to have something related with space or in a technological level. So the benefits, as I mentioned before, like you will have the opportunity to raise revenues by securing new customers, also options to enter in new markets inside and outside of Europe, and build relevant international networks with the people that are participating in the different events, and access to investment, because as I mentioned also, we have a list of VCs, venture capitals, and also investors that are joining the live events and online matchmaking events. So what is the process to actually apply for it? So we currently have closed the open call, which closed on 15 January, the second open call. But we still accept new companies under evaluation to join the new live events. I will explain you later how exactly goes the process. But the idea that you have to keep in mind is that first you need to send us an email asking for interest to participate in the CASSINI Matchmaking. Then afterwards, we will send you a link to register in the CASSINI Matchmaking platform. Once you are registered, we will evaluate your application form. If your application form is accepted and then you are approved as a participant, then you will start to be part of the CASSINI Matchmaking program. What means is you will receive training and coaching before the events, which means pitching training and sales training that I will explain later in few slides. But also you get access to start to join the live events. Then after that is when in the live events and online events, you start to build your matchmaking connections with the people that are participating in these events. Okay, so here are a few numbers of what has been the 2022 edition at the moment. That can bring you an overview that what are the participants that we are having around. So basically for the 2022, we have a registration of more than 200 startups that request to participate in the CASSINI Matchmaking. Among these ones, we actually select 80 startups to participate in the CASSINI Matchmaking. But also, as I mentioned, we kept flexible during the year, and during the events, we were accepting under evaluation some specific startups that were also joining the events. So in total, we are talking about 100 startups that we have accepted in the program of 2022, counting with the ones that joined after the application, the open call in 2022. Also, it's good to mention that we have around, in total, 350 registered participants, counting with corporates and investors. More than 200 participants at live events, which means also not just corporates and investors, but we also brought the possibility to connect with institutions. And that was also a really added value to the startups that that we receive in the feedback afterwards. Around more than 180 meetings during these 4 live events that we had in 2022. And in total, 18 events, counting with 4 live events, 2 online matchmaking events, and then, as I mentioned, some training during the whole year. Okay, so for 2023, we have selected 4 topics. What means is these 4 topics will help corporates and investors to identify the area where your solution is, and then try to build meaningful partnerships. But what I want to make clear is even if you are not part of these 4 topics, or your solution is not part of these 4 topics, you can still apply for the CASSINI Matchmaking program, because what need to be very important is to make sure that you cover the eligibility criteria and you have a solution that is connected with the space environment. So basically, in these 4 topics, we can find the smart logistics and transportation. This topic covers basically the industrial transport and logistic activities. In this case, we are trying to find solutions that focus on the optimization and digitalization of these activities. And then, as we see that the sector is facing challenges, and then it must adapt to requirements that covers the new type of supply chain. The second topic that we have selected for this year is the smart cities and urban mobility. So in this topic, what we try is to find solutions that support the sustainable urbanization and the development of smart buildings and urban mobility. Under the Managing and Protecting Earth Resources from Space topic, we are trying to find solutions that support the land and marine environment monitoring and also sustainable exploitation of natural resources. And then last but not least, we have the next generation of spacecraft manufacturing and operations, which is trying to find solutions that covers hardware and software solutions that support the development of spacecraft systems for novel space operations and ground stations. So these are the 4 topics that we have at the moment, but as I mentioned, even if your solution is not under these 4 topics, you still can apply as long as you demonstrate that you have a connection with the space. Okay. So for 2023, so far, we have selected the following 4 topics. So as I mentioned, the second open call has closed in 15 January, but you can still apply, and we are open to receive new registration of startups under the process that I have explained earlier. So the next event that we are having is happening in Barcelona under the 4 years from now during the Mobile World Congress, which will happen on 28 February. So basically, the CASSINI Matchmaking events, usually the live events run for a whole day, which means like in the morning, you usually have a pitching session where like the companies have the opportunity to pitch for around 4 minutes in front of a panel of investors. Then you will be receiving questions during a Q&A from the investors that will try to create this attraction and to create this interest for your solution. Then after that, we have in the afternoon, the one-on-one matchmaking session, which means like after you have done your pitch session, then the counterparts that are interested in your solution, and on the other side around, if you are interested to meet in a specific corporate and investors, you will have the opportunity to meet them in a 20-minute session and one-on-one. So then it's like the first step to bring these connections. Then after that, what usually happens is like either you exchange contact, but you also have the opportunity to continue your relationships through online matchmaking sessions that we plan along the year. So as I mentioned, for this year, we have the Mobile World Congress. The next event is in Barcelona in the 4 years from now. But we also have planned several ones, which is, as you can see there here in the screen, we have the tech show in Stockholm in Sweden happening from 3 to 4th May. Then we also plan to have the following one in Estonia, Tallinn, during the Latitude 59 Fair. So this is happening from 25th to 26th May. And then the last one, and which this one we are closing the CASSINI Matchmaking program, will be happening in Prague and during the Entrepreneurship Day organized by the European Space Program. But the date is still not confirmed, but as soon as we have the date, we will publish it in the website. So as I mentioned, there is opportunities to create partnerships and connections and extend your networking opportunities during these live events, but also afterwards, we plan around like 4 online matchmaking sessions during the whole year that can help you to continue creating this partnership. And if you, for example, could not attend to any of these sessions, then you also have the opportunity to connect with your interested counterpart during these matchmaking sessions. So it's important to mention also that it's not that only the sessions, but we are planning a training during the whole year, which means like we have a B2B sales training with several sessions spread along the year, and also a pitching training that the companies always receive before the events. To make sure that they have presentation and pitch that is prepared to attract the investors and the corporates that are listening to the pitches. Okay, this is all from the event side. Okay, and then I'm just finishing the presentation. So as I mentioned, if you are interested to participate, So first have a look in the website. You can see on the bottom the CASSINI Matchmaking website, where we have all the information that I already explained, and you can get a better overview about what is the program about. But then if you finally decide that you want to join us, then you should send us an email to the CASSINI Matchmaking, the email address that you are seeing on the screen. And then, as I mentioned, as soon as I receive your email, we will get in contact with you and send you this link with the one that you can register. And then is when we will start the evaluation. As soon as it's completed, we will start the evaluation of your application form. And then in few days, you will receive the acceptance of the or not of your applications. So I thank you for this time that you have given me, and I encourage you, if you think that it's an opportunity for you to apply, because we have planned a really great year full of events, and then like we are waiting for your application, and I'm really happy that I will be happy to answer any question that you might have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Cristina, for this interesting presentation. I have a couple of questions based on your presentation. Could you elaborate a little bit more on the level of maturity that you expect from the startups in the matchmaking program?
Yeah, of course. Well, basically, it's what I mentioned with the maturity. With what we means is like at least you have to have a solution that is mature enough to be in the market already. So it needs to be a solution that it's already like you have had some customers already. But in the level of like the funding time of your company, we already have some companies that have been funded in 2021 and they have been accepted. So that's something that is completely fine. What we are looking for is a solution that is already in the market. It's not in a testing process, but it's already in the market, and we already, let's say, you can find customers to sell this solution.
Okay, that's important information. And could you mention a couple of examples of success stories, maybe in anonymized form? I mean, for the first round of CASSINI Matchmaking last year, what are some examples of successful outcomes?
Yeah, so yes, we actually have like a really successful story from one of our companies that contact with one investor, and they got 50,000 funding. So it was like a great, that was like the one. It's true that at some point it's important to remark that during the CASSINI Matchmaking we make these connections, but the outcome of these connections, let's say to continue these connections, is up to the companies and the counterparts. Mm-hmm. So we usually get to know some successful stories about that, but we don't get into details, or we are not like holding the process during the connection, so afterwards. So that's important to remark. But it's true that we, as I mentioned before, we have more than 180 meetings. They are building connections. We have around, like, if I believe, like 30 or 40% of the startups that joined the first year, they already have signed up on the second year. As I mentioned, like we have 80 startups, but of course, like we have a few community that it gets close to the environment. They are joining most of the live events, and they are already in contact with European institutions. They are in contact with corporates, with investors, and they really know the environment, and they are joining it. So that's a really added value.
Sounds good. And just a practical question, the participation of the startups in the matchmaking events, like the 4 events you presented in the first half of this year, do they get financing support for the travel and the participation?
Not, they don't get finance support for the traveling, but I have to say that they get the free access to the fair in this case. For example, now for the 4 years from now, we are offering free tickets to access to the Mobile World Congress, to the 4 years from now fair. So then that's an added value, because that is not just that you come to the CASSINI Matchmaking event, but also during these 4 days of the fair that you still have access to get in contact with the networking area, the networking opportunities that are around that. So that's what we are offering at the moment. There is not like traveling funding, but there is this added value of like being able to be in the event and then network with the people also that are participating at the event, not just the CASSINI Matchmaking.
And for how long will CASSINI Matchmaking continue in the first round?
Yes, so then our events are planned until the end of June. So that's with that we close 2023. Who knows if there is another edition in the, but at the moment is not defined. So then I encourage you to apply, because might be the opportunity now, the 2023, that you have to be part of this opportunity. So it will last until the end of June, when we have our last event during the Entrepreneurship Day in Prague.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, thank you very much for the answers. And if there are no other questions from the audience, I think we should conclude this session for today. And yeah, again, thank you very much, Cristina, for your presentation. So we will, I guess, distribute your slides after the meeting.
Yeah, I will send it to you if you are okay with that, and then you can distribute it.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much. And Josefina, let's roll the video. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, everyone. I hope to receive your application soon.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.